And I am Steve Wetherill. I don't know. I think we need more of that logo. I think we need to drive this home. Much like the podcast, the object of the game is failure, apparently. Oh dear. That's right. That's true. I mean, it fits in, I guess, most of episode 1 and 2. I think in the first comic book. There's a lot less fucking around in it. I think it captures the spirit of the fucking around, but I don't think you can fit that much fucking around into one comic book. It'd be impossible. It's a bit of a delay on it. I can hear me. No, I don't think you are coming on. I think it's just me. Okay, I will continue to talk while you do that. Hello, everyone. Tune in to watch Drew play video games again. Again, there's a bit of a delay. I'll have to tap dance. Do something. Just a natural theatre kid. No. Unplugging things, plugging them back in again. It's the classic go-to move. Nice. I don't think this little dice robot is gonna stand a chance. I can talk to myself while watching somebody else play a video game. No, I mean I can hear you fine, but they can't hear you. Yeah, but well, bearing in mind that nobody else can hear Drew, everybody else, you probably think I'm just talking to myself like a madman. I'm not. I'm talking to Drew. But yeah. So again, just to recap. Don't know if I'm gonna write. I can't hear myself on the playback now. Oh, there we are. I had it then. Yeah. Right, now they can't hear either of us, but I can hear me now. Yeah, I can hear me now, but not you. Yeah, play the game. Voice in my head. Well, this is a game, and I comment on. It means I have to pay attention and try and understand what's actually happening. Which, I'll be honest with you, I didn't quite get what was going on last time. I mean, I understood there was a little dice man fighting some weirdos, but that's as far as I got.
I wonder if this did it. Hey, hey, can you hear me now? On the stream?
Bear with me, listeners. I'm just seeing if Drew exists or not, or whether this is all a horrible nightmare.
All right, one last try before we
I can hear him.
completely. Yay! Hey! All right, I messed up a setting somewhere when I was trying to tweak everything. All right. Thank you, Steve, for covering through that.
You had it set to not Drew.
Had it set to not Drew. All right.
You needed it set to Drew.
I don't know where the sound on this thing is. It's supposed to be here, but it's gone, and I'm just not going to mess with it at this point.
No. Let's not push it any further.
Okay, so how the robot works is you have to. Wait a minute. Yep, nope, that's just all right. So how the robot works is you hit calculate, and so if I go over this, it'll all glitch out. So it's not just like you get numbers of dice. You just kind of have to like try and get close to 9 or whatever your target number is without going over.
Oh, that sounds.
It's the curling of dice battle games.
I've got the curling of dice battle games. That sounds like somebody is like just run out of ideas.
Yes, it does. But luckily, I got a jackpot on that one, so I got some extra damage because these first few fights, there's a really good chance I'm gonna die
Ah,
because I just have nothing. uh, but I
robot
can
was
kill
like
him.
a, robot
Sometimes the
was
dice
like
are with you. Sometimes they are not.
a limit break. Even machines have their limits.
Machines do indeed have their limits.
D&D classes.
You
But
monster.
maybe I'm just behind the times. Rogue, barbarian, wizard, robot. Sounds like someone just threw that one in there, to be honest.
All right, now I've got a shield. So, Steve, as today is about the Caverns and Creatures Chronicles of not Caverns and Creatures Chronicles Calamity. We did too many C's. Too many C's.
I don't know why I did that. We all passed on that name. We call it Chronicles of Calamity. That won't be difficult to say or confusing with any of our other products beginning with C. But I don't know. I'm not taking responsibility for that. We all saw the title and we all passed it. But
We all did this together.
we did. It's a shared responsibility. Yeah, I was explaining the front cover. That's kind of the original one. But that's been around for a while. I think most people have seen that in promotional artwork. So we did a little stretch goal where we upgraded the cover by an original piece from Johnny Segura III, the colorist.
Oh, Steve, would you
And
be
it is
referring
great.
to this cover by chance?
Ooh, can you do that? Can you just magic things up as we talk about them?
Yeah, I actually spent some time prepping.
Oh, wow.
You'll notice I have the little chibi stickers down here. That's our stretch goal that we're working toward.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's important because those chibi stickers are adorable. And if we don't reach $5,000, we have to put them into a paper shredder and then flush them down the toilet. So if we don't get to our target, I want you all to feel super bad about that.
All right. We've beaten A level as the robot. So, one down, so many more to go. So many more.
That was robot versus rabbit, blue collar rabbit. I don't think that was particularly fair. This metal killing machine versus garden pest.
I mean, all's fair in robots and dice grenades.
All's fair for robots who have no concept of fairness, or indeed mercy.
Mercy does not compute. Oh, the wizard. Too many
John O.
abilities.
Wilson in the chat says he donated yesterday, so he did his goddamn part. Damn right you did.
And we appreciate it.
When I stomp these chibis into the mud, it won't be your fault. You did your part. It'll be everyone else's fault.
Everyone.
Yeah, basically, if we reach $5,000 goal, we put those stickers out with every physical copy of the book. So if you've already ordered a physical copy of the book, you get some stickers. You get these adorable little face stickers, as well as the original sticker set. But if you don't, you have to feel somewhat guilty for the rest of your days. Yeah, so you can donate $5 if you want digital comics. If you're a modern person who likes reading off the screen.
Oh god, he keeps getting more dice. Oh no.
Well, he's a wizard.
Yeah,
He can do what he likes. Magic, that doesn't compute, does it, robot? Ah.
Yeah. It does almost feel like a slightly rigged system against the robot. Too bad. Well, take my lucky shot, you wizard jerk. Sorry, Steve, you were talking about the Kickstarter.
No, that was important. That needed to be said. But
Sometimes you just gotta let a monster know what's up. Now, excuse me
you
while
got
my
to.
robot bashes this baby squid in the brains. That doesn't feel great.
I mean, that is an adorable baby squid. He looks so optimistic.
We'll see what we can do about that.
Yeah. Gonna change your worldview, baby squid.
Oh man. So the comic book arc. Let's talk about that. The arc and the actual writing a bit, because I don't think people realize that this is very much you and John Luther Davis, and now we've got Johnny Segura on board. But I mean, you have been the driving force of this thing since pretty much the beginning, as far as the adaptation and whatnot.
Yeah, patrons will know that we just kind of started doing this as something extra we could chuck our patrons every month. And John Luther Davis had done some fan art for us, which was excellent. We'd been using that kind of on our merch and stuff and in the game. But getting to talk to him, I knew he's a tattoo artist, but he had kind of a comic book he wanted to do. And I've said to him, fuck your comic book, do ours. That's what I said. No, not in so many words. But yeah, and he was interested. And so the process began. And then it was a learning experience. I've written novels and I've written screenplays, but I've never written a comic book. And I've never worked with an artist like that. And it was kind of, the challenge was, because, fans of the podcast will be aware that we don't always stay on the rails or make particularly useful or narrative decisions. Sometimes we do exactly the opposite of that. So it's kind of trying to set things up in a story arc that could be feasibly picked up by somebody who hadn't listened to the podcast and still enjoyed, while still like capturing the tone and chaos of the podcast. But luckily, like John was a big fan of ours, so he kind of got it, and it was nice. Yeah, tried to just like capture because they're such, well, to me and to you guys by now, such kind of bold, familiar characters, and they're all such excellent riffs on the fantasy archetypes they're supposed to embody. So it was actually a really fun experience to write it. I think one thing I did learn though was about pacing. I wasn't really sure how long it was supposed to be or how much description I should give per panel. And eventually, especially when it came to action scenes, I just ended up kind of saying, originally I'd kind of like script out the fight scenes, what I wanted to happen. But John Luther Davis would always make them a lot cooler. So I ended up just saying, insert fight scene here. Go nuts, have a ball. And that was the best way to do it, because he really, really brings the action scenes to life. It's so cool. It's a lot, whatever you're imagining during the fight scenes in the podcast, and there have been some cool bits as well as some ridiculous bits. John Luther Davis just makes it look a lot cooler than whatever's in your head. But yeah, process-wise, it was kind of, I say to people, we can't like follow the podcast because I can't spend 52 pages with Klaus drowning in the bottom of a well. It would just, I mean, that's a lot of ink, a lot of cost. I mean, it'd be funny. I mean, to me, I'd find it funny. I'm not sure how much John Luther Davis would appreciate during the same rogue drowning in the same well for a graphic novel's worth of pages.
Yeah,
But it's
that
all
might
in
get
there.
a tad tiresome.
I'd say it's as faithful an adaptation as I could make it without it seeming utterly insane to somebody who didn't know what's going on.
I mean, yeah, because you definitely did have to do some restructuring on the early ones. I mean, Brandon Thighmaster wasn't around yet. We still had Kutherick around, so there was just a lot of different stuff going on.
Yeah, and we don't really own Kutherick, so we couldn't kind of. And obviously, the podcast in its current format is very much about like kind of the new cast, so we had to sort of reworked that in, and in a way, it kind of it ended up being, rather than Kufrik and Bjorg come to town, it was Bjorg and Fandango, which kind of mechanically worked. If you had this huge wrestler dude and his hype manager, basically, so it was quite, in many ways, the kind of like I guess strimming down of what it was turned out to be like quite conducive to telling a tighter story. But yeah, so sacrifices were made, but I really hope like the tone and the comedy and the chaos of the podcast is there, because we did consider I think most people who like actual play podcasts are familiar with the Adventure Zone. That's probably the most famous one, and they're very good. But they did a graphic novel retelling of their adventures, and they wrote in the DM as a character and the DM decisions, which I think makes sense for trying to capture what it is they were doing. But to me, seemed to be like, I don't know, it seemed to be the easy way out. And I like making life difficult for people, so.
It's funny you mentioned the reworking of Bjorg and Fandango, because I think we have a little art to show off in that regard.
God, you are really prepared today, man. except for like the first 5 minutes of this live stream, you're like completely on the money. Yeah, we were originally going to go with that piece of art for a little while as a cover, and then we were going to do it as a poster, and then we didn't really do anything with it. Then we thought it'd make an excellent kind of just first page, because we wanted to print these out to, I guess, sign them at cons. So I think we're going to use that as sort of like back matter now, with the information on it and the names of all the people who volunteered for our NPC tier and things like that. So that artwork should be appearing in the book, which is good, because I really just like that. It's kind of like, it's like the opening screen to a JRPG from the 90s. For some reason, it puts me in that frame when you just see the characters around a campfire or something on the start screen. It reminds me of that. It makes me nostalgic. I like that drawing.
This Dryad just cast sass on me. Real good.
Oh, it does look sassy.
You think you can beat trees, do you? You feeling good? Oh god, the trees will wait and they will eat you when you're gone. Holy hell.
She doesn't realize she's talking to a robot.
Yeah. That taunt would have worked extremely well on anyone composed of organic matter.
Yeah.
Beep boop. You do not understand to whom you speak.
Even trees must die. Machines are eternal.
I have become one with the cloud. I shall dance upon your sad grave.
I will teach the beings of the future what trees used to be.
They shall mock you.
When you're replaced by 5G towers or whatever it is we're doing.
So this is not a mechanic that necessarily is in the game, but I feel like it should be. It's weird to me that the robot is not extra hurt by shock.
It should be.
Right?
That's
That
like
feels
classic.
All right,
I mean,
let's see
that's
what this increased
expected.
range is. Oh, 2? That's terrible.
It's standard. It's been standard since Final Fantasy 4, I want to say. You see a machine, you cast Thunderbolt. Boom.
Right. Yeah. I guess the individual abilities are more than the specific ups and downs, but it's like, come on. He could.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
I don't know why I'm complaining that I'm not getting more hurt by these attacks. It's not a
Because
good plan.
because you're a writer, Drew, you realise that some things are more important than your own personal not being killed by a witch. A hipster
boy.
witch.
I'm going to use this one just in case this next one shocks me out. Yep, good call. Good call. Oh, the friggin' the ability to go over is such a pain.
That is, so do they all the different like dicey characters have their own sort of advantages and limiters then, and or is the
Oh,
robot unique in that?
not only do they, but it changes based on what you're playing. So, for example, if there's different challenges where you might get a different special ability that lets you steal something permanently or etc. On the thief one, and yeah, it's wild.
Huh. So the goal is to finish the game with all individual dicey characters then.
Seems to be. All right, what am I gonna do with this one? I need to hit you for maximum possible money or damage. Release. Hit you for 3.
Have you tried crushing her scrawny
5.
neck with your
Oh, and
merciless
then lucky
robot
shot.
claws?
That would be horrifying, as if it just cut away and it came back and the robot was dripping in viscera. Oh boy, oh boy. Okay, one of these is a really good upgrade. I remember this from last time, but I don't remember which one. Oh no.
Chat points out that maybe just the robot dice has a really good surge protector. Well
It
done,
could
chat.
be.
You've rescued the feasibility of this universe for me.
There we go. That makes my mechanical arm a lot more useful. Also, cheat code. You're terrible. Healing crystal. You're in. Until we buy something good here. Ooh, bump blade. Yep, that's better. So, on the subject of the comic book, once again, as folks, this is our last day for Chronicles of Calamity. I did want to touch on asking you real quick, I guess, how far are you on building the next issue? I know we're seeing some of it ahead because Patreons of Authors and Dragons, patreon.com/Authors and Dragons, are able to see these pages as they're produced each month.
Well, one of the bright sides of the devastating global plague we're living through at the moment is that John had a bit more time on his hands. So we're further ahead in pages than you might think. I know the Patreon are maybe just up to, I think, about page 8 in issue 2. We're a lot further ahead than that. Script-wise, we're about 6 issues in, because I can just kind of write them in my spare time. But page-wise, we're doing all right. I think, theoretically, we have a finished issue 2. But that's only theoretically, because obviously the things need to kind of be reworked, and there needs to be covers and front matters, and there's a lot more. There is, ironically, a lot more to completing an issue than just drawing it and writing it.
What?
It seems like you should do those 2 key steps and just be good to go, but no, there isn't.
Boy, the one good thing about Mechanical Arm is that I'm getting nothing but terribles at every roll ups ups that thing a little bit, because this is not good. Not good at all. All right, let's punch you for 7. There we go. That's something.
So yeah, as this crowdfund's gone pretty well, we'll probably do another crowdfund for issue 2, probably, because we've definitely made enough to send copies out to everybody this time around, as well as pay for all the cool prizes and stickers and merch. And I think next time we'll probably be able to deliver maybe a better planned crowdfunding experience. This was my first crowdfunder, I'm not going to lie. I didn't really know what was in store. On the plus side, though, a few of you got some original John Luther Davis artwork for really cheap because of my incompetence. So he can thank me being an idiot for that, and John being a good sport.
Yeah, that was an interesting one.
Well, I misunderstood what he meant. I thought I won't get into my feelings. We
You
could
don't
be
want to talk about.
we could be here all day.
I'm not sure you understand what a stream is for, Steve.
Hey, I've got this really exciting crowdfund to tell you guys about. Let me just sit here and explain how I failed at it for an hour.
Steve, I'm not sure if you're aware. I literally wrote a book about that concept. It's like, hey, here's all the ways I fucked up.
There's an
Underqualified
audience
advice.
out
Pick
there.
it up now. It has high ratings, but not a lot of them.
There you go. That's a good segue.
Yeah, I like
Although
to
we did,
gently plug. Gently plug.
we were talking to your narrator about that. He was well impressed with it. I'm meaning to pick it up myself, to be honest, because what he was saying about it. Jesus, what side quest was that?
That was the
Was it?
Kirby Hayborn side quest episode. I
Hmm.
believe in the mid 40s, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think mid to high 40s. Not only a fascinating guy, that was a great side quest if you haven't listened to it, but yeah, he had nothing but good things to say about that. So I really should get round to picking that up.
So Steve and I actually did a stream last night, and something fun came up. I didn't get a chance to mention this, but do you remember when they were talking about Nier Automata?
Yes.
Kyle McCarley did a major voice for the English translation of that. And for those who don't know that name, Kyle McCarley is the narrator for my Superpowered series, including Corpies.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I thought that was a real neat one.
No, that is neat. A couple of degrees of separation there. That is sweet. I like that.
It's always fun
Oh,
getting
yeah.
to work with great people who do like such cool stuff.
Yeah, speaking of the streamer on last night, Geekgasm with Indie Vault. Yeah, that was fun. There's a lot more fetish talk than I was expecting, but that's because our colorist Johnny Segura III is on some kind of A to Z of fetishes comic book. So you can go check that out, you perv. That's your thing. But no, that was a cool stream. I think that's probably still on Facebook and YouTube. If you type in Indie Vault, you can watch that.
So we had someone ask, when is the A&D card game being released? I think you dramatically overestimate the amount of free time any of us have.
I was so tempted that when we were thinking about perks, I just thought, "Ooh, A&D collectible cards." And I thought that's a lot of work, Steve, that you're not qualified to do. But who knows? Maybe in future crowdfunds. Like I say, we have a issue. It's very likely we'll do an issue 2. I'm not sure when, but I will be thinking of. I've learned a lot from this crowdfunding experience, but one thing I have learned is that people like cool perks. So who knows? Maybe.
Well, I hope you've also learned to watch a robot die, because this is not looking good. It's starting to get bad. It's starting to get bad.
Everybody in our generation learned to watch a robot die. That's what, Jesus, what was it called? Short Circuit was for. To teach us how to take the death of robots.
All right, I'm bringing in a healing crystal, and we are just gonna pray. We're just gonna pray. I have 6 health, and I have to beat this dire wolf to heal.
Story of how a robot learned to believe.
Direwolf is strong against poison. Oh, that's great for Direwolf. Good for him.
He doesn't look that dire. It's more of a dapper wolf.
Agreed. All right, we're gonna punch you with that, and then with this. Oh, there's no way I'm gonna be able to survive a whole round against this thing. Oh no. Auto
It's
roll.
like,
All right, all right. We're going
it's like the
to...
end of Terminator 2 all over again.
Oh man, now here's the question: do I regenerate? Yeah, I got to take the health. I got to take the health. Oh, health or shield? Shield. I think shield keeps helping. All right, all right. Here goes probably the run.
Oh,
Oh boy. All right, he got one of me. He got one. Shield did nothing. Nothing.
You're about to
Anyway,
be
Steve, you were
destroyed
saying.
by a purse. No,
Where I
you're
just
about to be
went off.
destroyed by a purse puppy. Let's give it some time.
Let's just all marinate in this.
Yeah. So we'll just enjoy it. I mean, it's not often you get to see a robot being destroyed by a small, dapperly dressed dog.
Very true.
Yeah, available perks right now. I suppose I should get into that. If you want to just download the digital copy, you can do that. $5 or £4 if you're from England. If you want a physical copy, it's $10 plus postage and packaging. A little on the high side, but it does come with a sticker pack. A very cool sticker pack, unique to this crowdfunding event. Or if you're feeling a bit fancy, I think there's still the Junior Adventurer bundle pack, which comes with a sticker, the physical copy, and 5, or is it 6? No, it's definitely 6. 6 signed character portraits. So they are signed by the cast. It will be pictures of Brandon and Bjorg and Fandango and Silas and Klaus and a Drew character, as yet not confirmed. And they will each be signed by us. So that's a neat one, if you never had a chance to get anything signed by us. And other perks that don't have anything to do with getting a comic book, if you wanted to add some extras, you can spend $15 and get a personalized character message, providing it is nothing too dirty. Give us the money. And
Such a prude, Steve.
I said 2 day. I'm willing to go a little bit dirty. But yeah, and we'll ask you for details, and we'll send you a personalized message from the A&D character of your choice. It can be any of the main characters or any of the many lovable NPCs. So if you wanted to pre-record a Valentine's message for your loved one in the voice of Clammy Hands Edgar, this is the perfect time to do that. What else do we have? Yeah, a unique Bjorg t-shirt. You have to go on the Indiegogo just to check that sucker out.
You know, I've heard Bjorg rumbling around here. You never know when he might just BLAM!
God, that's so cool. Well, you don't need to go to the Indiegogo now, unless you want to get that bad boy, which obviously you do, because check out. That design is going to be unique to this crowdfunder, I believe. It's the Bjorg design with the red trim on a grey t-shirt. And you can get that pretty much in any size. I think it goes from small to like 5XL or something. So, yeah, you can just get yourself a t-shirt if you want to support the campaign, and also get a really cool t-shirt.
It is a really cool looking t-shirt.
If you want a barbarian bursting out of your chest.
I mean,
this is
who
the
doesn't,
most stylish
really?
way.
Really should have saved that multiple roll one for later in that battle. I got a lot of ones. A lot of ones. Oh,
I don't know what's going on with this
Speaking
snowman.
of, good God.
Why is the snowman so buff and smug looking?
God, he does, right? He's got like a car salesman smile.
The only thing he's selling you is icy death.
Very icy. Very death. Well, take a heal. Take a shield. Hey, there we go. Extra hit, and right on the money. Okay, well that's somehow creepier than the Dryad.
Yeah.
It implies that I'm killing these people, and they're just like, hey, that was fun, man. You want to go grab a beer or something? They say, oh no. Am I a monster? What have I been doing to these people? Nope, can't get the health because that would be wasting 1 health, and at this point we can't risk it. Oh, the skeleton. The skeleton's got death in his eyes, and I can feel it.
He's the most furious opponent you've faced yet.
Indeed.
Oh my God, look at him. He's a berserker. Such rage. The angry dead.
Those empty eye sockets.
Mm.
Oh, oh god, I hate curses. So now there's a 50% chance that any one of my pieces of equipment will break.
Oof.
Like that. Like what just
Yeah,
happened.
like that.
Like
Exactly
exactly
like
that. Oh, like exactly that, you mother.
that.
Oh, I keep forgetting I have auto roll. Oh, yeah. Aaron Kelly points out that the skeleton is wearing some very fun boots that I did not notice. Again, hints to just so much more going on in this world.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only fun thing about Skeleton, and it also implies that he's completely nude, but for the boots. Which somehow makes the boots less fun now, actually, and more kind of...
Just terrifying.
A bit aggressive.
He's like, hey, I'm naked, and you need to know that. If there were no boots, you wouldn't even think about it, would you? I know you're looking at my pelv bone. I can feel you.
This situation just got a lot more aggressive.
So much more. All right, let's get some shields going, because this guy's kind of kicking the hell out of me. Oh, no, I'm doing this very badly. There we go. No, all right. Thinking ahead. So, Steve, any lessons learned in the creation of a comic? Because I've always thought this is a neat avenue to go down, but it's just outside of my realm of expertise. Like I wouldn't even know how to start such a shift.
Yeah, I think the lesson I learned is decide what you're actually doing before you do it. That was my first lesson. Because when we first started doing this, it was just for the patrons, and I didn't know if it was going to be maybe just an online project. So I tried to keep it really tight with kind of like a mini plots. I think the original issues were supposed to be like 5 pages long each, but that's not compatible for an actual comic book. So yeah, if you do decide to make a comic book, make sure you're making a comic book before you do so.
If you're gonna make a comic book, it should be a
book.
comic book.
Communication with your artist. I mean, I just wrote the scripts, and I think originally Johnny was kind of like, okay, I'll do my best to put down on the page what you've wrote, but I don't think any successful, because I know a little bit about comics and comic book history, I don't think any successful partnership, particularly in superhero comics, has ever worked like that. I think it's more a case of the writer will suggest something and the artist will find a compromise that looks cool. So I've been very much more about kind of, maybe I'll get a little snippy about how I want a joke to land and how that works with the rhythm of the panels and how I imagine it. But I think a lot of the time I'm just kind of like, this is ambiguous. I've said this all needs to happen in 6 panels, but if that is cramping your style, do what you need to do. So I think that level of communication, I think we're kind of a lot more comfortable with that now. But then again, that did take us a few pages in to do that.
Yeah, I imagine it's like any collaboration. There's give and take.
Yeah. I mean, the story's fun and the characters are fun, and that's great, and writing the bones for it and everything. But at the end of the day, a comic book's a comic book, and it's a very visual medium, and you're just giving, depending on. I think I could probably write a comic book with a different artist, and it'd probably be a completely different experience. I think just knowing what your artist does and how they work, and giving them the space they need to breathe, is always going to result in a better product. That's the impression I get from reading comics mainly, but also it became quite apparent while I was writing this one. Just trusty artists, let them do their thing.
Pretty darn good advice, I would say. Almost like
Well,
smash a rhino beetle in the face with robot arms.
that's indisputable advice. That's true.
Indeed. Oh, yeah, I think I want the health. I know I want the health. Can I buy
Chat
more?
says,
Can I buy more?
theoretically, if there was an Authors and Dragons Chronicles of Calamity card game, what fashion would the card game be like? Would it be like Magic the Gathering or Yu-Gi-Oh or like Munchkins?
I I think maybe closer to a Munchkin, although not quite to that. I would love to do some sort of I don't know. Maybe it's an encounter simulator or something. So you draw a few random characters, you draw a few modifiers, you draw a boss, and then um, the round of the game is in trying to deal with it. Maybe have some advantages and disadvantages, red flags and white flags style. +1 sword, but your character will not stop talking about his weasel. Something to that effect. Just pulling something crazy out of nowhere.
It does
I don't know.
does fit the format. Just it'll seem completely like random for the people playing the card game to be like, aha, isn't this amusingly random? And other people will be like, no, that was actually episode 14. That happened.
It feels like we're just doing like wacky. It's like, no, this is all pretty rooted. Really, the white lightning squid is rooted. Yep.
You see, we have to make the game ridiculous so it fits the source material.
Yeah, that's why.
Somebody suggested Card Against the Humanities, but it's only Authors and Dragons quotes. That's probably doable.
Yeah, honestly, that's.
You just end up with a stack of Black Robert Bevan quotes, and then things normal people would say on the white deck, I guess.
So you might be wondering why I fought this gargoyle when I didn't necessarily have to. And the answer is, the next fight after this is the boss, and if I go in there with less than full health, I'm going to get my robot teeth kicked in. So that's where that is.
That's fair. He's the first person you thought that actually looks like a bad guy, except for that nude skeleton. He looked like a worse guy.
Yeah, that nude skeleton had a lot going on. Not most of it we don't want to know about. All right, let's see. Will he kill me? I mean, maybe. I don't know. It's possible.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to ask you about, because you did such a great job with it and everything, is comic book influences, like ones that you have read a lot or maybe drew inspiration from.
I think I've said before that the obvious ones, the Marvel and DC. Not so much DC, really. I kind of regularly step into Batman, but mainly for DC, it was just like big event stories, like Alex Ross's turn on Justice League. But certainly, I followed Marvel pretty religiously for about 5 years. I think I was a Marvelous front-facing bastard or whatever they were called. Until One More Day, and then I kind of realized if you follow Marvel long enough, the continuity soft resets, and I'd already seen the Ultimates be born and die, and that was just one too many reinventions for me. So I just stopped buying regular continuity Marvel and just kind of stepped in on the interesting stuff in trade paperbacks now and then. But I would say my biggest influence is probably 2000 AD because it's got a real weird vibe to it. It's really it's a bit countercultural. They've got a few big names that most people recognize, but it's always had a real indie aesthetic to it, a real kind of fuck you attitude to it, and it gets dark and it gets satirical, and it just does a lot more than I guess mainstream American comics tend to do. It's got much more indie sensibility, even though it's probably the biggest name British comic out there. I mean, you get it. It's bi-weekly. It's got some huge names on it. I think my favorite artist is Clint Langley. He does this wonderful kind of painted style. He's most famous for Slain and ABC Warriors, I think. He's done some American stuff as well, but he's got this kind of odd blend of what looks like digital photo models and classic painting. And it's beautiful. It's not so great for action sequences. I think sometimes simplicity in comic books works better for dynamism. But for just to sit back and look at a page, Clint Langley's probably one of the most delightful artists out there. But other than that, my influences are pretty common, I'd say, comic book wise. I do like the indie stuff. I'll pick up an episode of the Max or the Crow back in the 90s, but nothing I'd stick to too hard. I guess I'm just kind of a magpie. I've just always liked the comic book medium. If it's got word bubbles and people punching each other in the face, I'll probably settle into it.
Oh man, well, what a twist and turn that turned out to be, because guess what? Robot beat a dragon.
All this looks like so far, Drew, is a bunch of magical fantasy creatures, and you've just sent a merciless killing machine in to destroy their world.
Oh, that sounds actually like an amazing book. That's some news. Dibs on the next shingles. What a surprise. We didn't win. But you can still win by backing Chronicles of Calamity.
Excellent. That was an excellent segue.
What can I say? It's my gift. All right, we're going to wrap up the Dicey Dungeons stream here, but we will be back in about an hour with something we're calling Nightmare Tour. So enjoy our day of constant shilling on this last round for Chronicles of Calamity. If you are interested in picking up any of the perks, art, or just pitching in, the links should be in the description of this and the Facebook and the YouTube episode. So we shall be back in about an hour.
See you then. Buy a comic book.
Bye.